Welcome back to the third part of this list that I thought was going to be shorter than 3 parts. But a lot of champions, 140 champions. Little bit is that I'm still continuing on a tier list that is the Project L champions I think are going to be in the game, probably announced or whatever, or plausible, or most deaths are not going to happen, or anti-tier that I just don't want in the game, and I really don't want to even talk about them. But aside from that, that's pretty much what I've been doing for 2 parts a whole now, like almost close to an hour each part. But I'm going to continue the list because we have to finish this. I've started and I want to continue. But of course, if people like this and stuff like that, I'll maybe do other special tier lists or whatever. Be it I have many interests that I can keep going with. So, oh wow, we're at the part where this is now not going to fit in the screen. But it'll work, whatever. So, I'm just making sure everything's right on this. Oh, that has a lot of like. Okay, anyway. So, on this, we're going to continue. So, let me just turn that down a little bit. Here. So, we have Leona, which I did put in as plausible. So, Leona is supposed to be a Solari. Did have a whole thing with like the fact that Solaris do not like Lunaris, and the Mount Targon thing, but Leona and Diana used to be an item, and I guess I don't know in the lore if they ever really get back to being with each other. Who knows? And if that's stuck, but that is the thing. I'm pretty sure they were the first announced of the LGBTQT plus community of that thing, because they're both, I'm trying to find a way to say it. They're both lesbian for each other. So, and I don't, which is like, there was a whole thing where I thought Pantheon and Leona were going to end up together, but I think Pantheon originally had a crush on Leona, but that got taken out of the lore because Leona was a very good adversary of Pantheon ascending Mount Targon, and yeah, so don't think that's everything. But Leona, I think probably will be in the game. I don't even like more than even Diana, because I should probably both put them in there. But now, you know, put them both in there side by side. She upgraded to most stuff. But Leona, I put in there just because Leona was, again, one of the support fighters that legit had to be nerfed out of a lane by items, because of the fact that like people would play Leona top lane because she was just a good fighter. She had the stun, she had the lockups, she has an ult that even stuns even more, which I don't know how that's going to work in Project L, because you can't just stun everything with an attack. Maybe it'll just do damage or whatever. It'll just like in the trailers. And I would suggest watching cinematics of League. You might not never have to play League of Legends. I'm never saying you have to play League of Legends. It's for a certain breed. But I do love this lore. This lore and the characters they make for League are amazing. And they're interesting, and they're different, and they're unique and original in some way. I understand that League of Legends does come from a concept of like Dota, and they made their own game out of it and made it, in my opinion, better. But but there's not a lot of people who like MOBAs, and a lot of people can get into it. And it's, as the years go by, it's harder and harder to get into League of Legends. As much as they want to get new people in there, it's just the mark of the beast on that stuff. And there's always new ways, and they have to find new ways to get people into this lore. And they have the cinematics and the anime that came out, and of course the RPGs, which I would suggest if you're into that. of playing those certain ones because Rune King was amazing. Meishiguro was good. Playing Convergence, and that's good for now. So another way to get this lore and see these characters. And enough of the advertising that I always don't mean to do. By the way, if I never said it already, my name is Renki, aka Chijoy. But that's the thing. Is this Liliana? Or Lillian? Wait, what is her name? I know her name because she's also another centaur, but she has the whole thing of like that she could put people to sleep. That was I think. Oh no, she was not the first one because I think Zoe's the first one that could like that fall. I think she came out. So it's Leah. Okay, whatever. Her whole thing is that she has yeah, that's cool. So she has a whole thing where she's like a deer, she's a fawn, she gallops and everything, stuff like that, and hits people and has a ball that puts people to sleep. I don't think of that like working in again, it's gonna be weird seeing 4 legs just pounce upward and then get hit. It's very strange. And I don't, it's going to be in, I say most likely not going to be in the game. But she'll be very interesting. Like, she might be like a character in the background of some things, and that might irk some people, but I don't really see her as a character. I can play in the Project L thing. Also, another thing of being a passive, cheery person. Oh, Lysandra. Okay. Yeah, so this woman of the Fair Lord of the Watchers, also not Watchers. I don't think she's for them. I don't think so. Is she a bad person? Oh no, she has a Troll King with her, which is Trundle. Maybe she is bad. I think maybe she is on the bad side. I don't know. Or no, she keeps things on ice though. And it's just like, oh, if you knew what I kept away. I don't know. It's weird. I don't like Lysandra's lore is kind of like iffy to me, but she's from Lavella. She's of True Ice and everything, and her build, like her special, wouldn't work. So she would need retooling on her ult because her whole thing is that she just freezes in the area and then it just like blocks and then hits other people and then it bursts in a way, but I don't know if that works. But she does have a lot of movement because she could claw to hit you, claw to bring herself up to you, to hit you even more. I can see her moving upwards, even though how that works is weird because unless it's going to make an ice blockade upward to you. You know what? But she does have the shocks that hits. I still put it as plausible, but it's very in the low plausible. Lucian's a very interesting one because Lucian's another one of those characters that has the whole thing of being. Oh, this music. Okay, that has the whole thing of being like he's rumored on the thing because of the fact that like his assets were also seen in a folder, apparently. But like Lucian is again a marksman. Yeah, he has the speed and he can back up and do that and dash forward, but he just shoots. He's just a shoot. Like, I guess if he could use those things in a talent of like hitting people, or maybe like weird tonfas kind of way of doing it, but it just, I don't know. It doesn't work. He has 2 pistols and he shoots them, and that's what he's gonna do. He's just gonna shoot you. Like, I know I saw it like there, but it could have been like, okay, maybe, and they don't think about it, because I can't. I'm going to still pull it plausible because it was rumored, but I really don't see him being the game. It's just a weird thing to put in there. But if they find a way, still a cool character. Lucian's arc is awesome. Oh, Lily. Okay. This character. No, that's not her name. What is her name? Why am I forgetting some characters from League of Legends? I swear. This is why I have a thing to check. Oh, Lulu. That's her name. Lulu, who can make people big and do all this stuff. And has picks to shoot people. I say most likely that she's, again, a Yordle. Small character. Very hard to, like, use in a way of, like, being not ranged. And in a fighting game. And her face would look so weird. But I say most likely not going to be in there. Now, here's a fun one. Because a lot of people will disagree with me on this. But I really think Lux is going to be in the game. I really think Lux will be in Project L. And it's weird because, again, she's a mage. She's a ranged champion. But I think in the game, she might use her staff as more than a... I use this as like a conduit of my powers. And she would actually hit you with the staff. Because I can see that. Like, I can see her still using it as an actual weapon. And then from far range doing her actual abilities of, like, locking you in and hitting you out of stuff and doing that. Or her grab could just legit be the stun grab of that. Or a command grab of throwing it. Ooh, that would be interesting. Damn, that would be annoying if she has a current, like, a long range command. But I can see, like, I know she's popular, like, I know she's Garen's sister. I can't really see her not being in the game. Like, unless she's just going to show you mage things or whatever. It's very hard not to have Lux in a project of League. I think she was one of the first. Was she one of the first? She was. I know she was in. Yeah, she was in Legend of Runeterra in the beginning when most of it was just Demacia and Noxus. So I can't not see her there. She is, and also probably is she is the reason why the Mage Seeker even became a game, because her power is what releases Silas, which I will talk about when we get there. But yeah, no, most death probably is gonna be in there. Now Malphite's interesting because he's a walking mountain. And he punches, and he has the shield thing where he gets hit, which will probably be very quickly, but maybe he has like armor sets or armor moves. Like they would have to retool him to be a fighter, but I can see it. They would just have to give him like super armor and stuff like that. Who knows? But I can see it. I can see him doing some damage, and then of course his ult being the up into your face thing. I can see it. Be harder to dodge. You would have to jump or like block in out of it. Be very hard to dodge, but I can see it. And if you hit a wall, do you just does it bring you all the way to the wall? That'll be interesting. I like that. Probably something Poppy would do or whatever. Okay, Malzahar is different. Malzahar is a Shuriman who gets too much into the void, gets kind of tricked by Bel'Veth, I believe, and then just becomes her herald of the void because he's crazy and thinks that the void and Shurima needs to coincide to help out both, kind of thing. That's his ways. Like the void needs to breach into our world so our world can be better for it. Okay, Malzahar. The voids are full of terrors, but okay. But Malzahar does have some good moves though, and I could see it. His ult would be kind of weird because his ult just like locks somebody and he's like as he's doing his ult. Maybe that would be a way of like locking an assist that you can't break it, or maybe you have to use an assist to break him out of it. I say plausible. I'm gonna put plausible. There's gonna be a lot in this plausible thing, but not a most def. Maokai, which is supposed to be from the tree before Shadow Isles becomes the Shadow Isles. Which that was a very interesting to find out in Ruined King. I was like, oh, what is he doing here? Oh, he's a part of the story? Oh, he's been a part of the lore this whole time? Never would have guessed. So, that's his whole thing. Maokai would be interesting because he could set up like traps and then use his little saplings that I guess they would have to dig into the earth. Like, you would have to set them up or, like, do that without you noticing they're there. And if you cross by them, it will just hit. So you could do that. Just like, I think it's Nappa from Dragon Ball Z Fighters, where he just throws, or Dragon Ball Fighters, I think it was called, where he just throws those little Cybermen, if I'm saying that right. And they would just spring out and just beat the living heck out of you if you find yourself there. So I can see it. I can really do see it. I want to say plausible. Plausible. Also, the rushing and the grabs would work too. And you wouldn't have to deal with the fact that how in League, where if you get the Fire Dragon, almost all your buff goes away. That's great. Master Yi. Master Yi, I cannot see not going in. I don't want Master Yi in the game. Well, I kind of do. It just doesn't seem like it's something that wouldn't go into the game. Like, he charges in, he does his ult. I guess he couldn't be slowed or anything. I still say plausible, but he's like very high on the plausible list. Maybe even higher than Lucian. But yeah, I guess, yeah, he's on the plausible. I can't say most def because, again, it's just a guy with a sword who's just rushing in here. And then I guess he would have to retool his whole meditating thing, which I don't know how that's going to work. Oh, yeah. Misfortune. Most likely not. I know she's a popular character. I know Ruin King did give her favors of being a very popular character. And oh god, she's a cool character, and I do love Misfortune, the ultimate one who was mean to I think she was one of the first people who talked to the summoner a lot. That was her taunts and her sayings. But I can't see her in a fighting game because, again, it's the whole thing with the pistols. That's all she does. Pistols. She shoots things up in the air, which is a projectile pistol. She speeds up by stunting, which is just her trying to get closer, but doesn't really matter because no one can. There's a range to this, so moving forward as a squishy is not even good because you're not chasing it, but it's a freaking. There's only so much space, so no, most likely not. I don't care what anyone says. I'm going to put Mordekaiser in most def because Mordekaiser is amazing, and Mordekaiser seems like the champion not only that he could be the ultimate boss because it's just in his kit of not his kit, his lore that he is a force. This Mordekaiser is a character that he's of I think he is of Noxian descent. Yeah, so he's of Noxian. He died. Was very angry the fact that what death was and didn't die. He just got so angry he kept alive through anger. And not really alive. He became almost a wraith of anger itself. He did not go to his final resting place and came back. It was crazy. And then also there's a whole thing about people trying to bring him back in the Noxian lore and stuff like that. Because underneath Noxus actually is Mordekaiser, and no one knows about that in the lore, at least. But yeah, Mordekaiser seems like a final boss. He's an Iron Reverend. He's just this big, just living armor. It just works, and also that his powers are not hard to translate in Project L because unlike Darius that has the whole Axe is going to bring you closer. This is going to bring Abraham. He does have something that brings you close, but it's like a wave that if he doesn't hit you on the way back, you don't get hit. You don't have to get grabbed, so you could jump over it or do whatever. So he could come at you, he could throw it, come at you, so it will still come and hit you again and trick you up. And then of course he has the whole thing where if he hits you he has the spectral thing, which. The rings, I'm starting to say, where it's just like this area effect that's just pushing and pushing, and then he's coming at you and coming at you. So it works, especially, and then his ult would be interesting because his ult is supposed to be where he steals your part of your essence, and then you have to fight him mano a mano, and no one can get in. So that would be interesting to see how that works as an install into the game. I can see that like being maybe nerfed a little bit as when he's a normal character, but if he's a boss character, I can see that fully being him. You're fighting me now. Let's go. And you're like, well, I have nothing. Like I have no assist. I have nothing on me, but he also wouldn't have an assist that he can bring into it because it's in his realm. So I can see that. It would be very interesting to have that happen. I don't think it would work in gameplay because of the whole 2v2 thing, and that would suck. Now your person's just like, hey, bro, I can't help you. And you're just like, you gotta do this. Yeah. But I'm still gonna put him as most. I want him in the. I really want him in the game, and it seems it just works. Morgana, actually, most likely not, unless they change what Morgana like. She is a good trap character because she can just throw her thing and then stuck you there, and then Black ooze underneath you, and then like I guess Black Mirror hurt somebody else, which is very annoying. And I guess that would be her thing of her assist, but her ult to just chain people, just and then lock them. I still say most likely not. Maybe this because hey. We're gonna have the Mage Seeker. Maybe Project will be Kale's version to shine and be something into it. Or maybe a boss. Who knows? Because Kale is a justice person. I don't know. She has that in her. And they could easily make her into a boss character, now that I think about it. Nami is definitely not gonna is a most likely not. Nami's just is a fish. She's a mermaid. I highly don't even know how she's like normally. It's a cool song. I don't even know how she's literally just. I'm sorry. I just needed to hear that. That was actually pretty good. Anyway, so I don't even know how Nami legit like is on air because she's supposed to be a mermaid, and her moves are not really like, unless she's gonna hit you with a spear a lot. And then do the bubbles and stuff like that, which I guess you can dodge or whatever. It just seems like a better slot. A person can do it better and doesn't need a slot for Nami. I really don't think it. Now, Nasus, on the other hand, which is again another one of the Cerimans that come back. I have to move this now. He's one of the Cerimans and stuff like that, and I can see that being a most diff. Because, but the whole thing is like slowing you down, and then using his actual go BAM and hit you in the head and stuff like that. I think they would have to do some retooling. He can't be as crazy as he is now because there's no chasing. There's no. So if he just slows you right there, and you're just like, I can't move, I am slowed, this is a targetable ability, this is dumb. Yeah, I can see that not being well. So it's still plausible, probably still on the higher version of plausible. Probably before this. I'm going to move this thing here too. Yeah. Oh, actually, move these two. Yeah. Okay. Nautilus, I would love to be in. Because Nautilus is another grab champion. He used to be like just like Blitzcrank, but he has a bigger anchor. He could also grab to terrain, so that'd be interesting. Be aware of like come back and then move backwards that way, or do this and move forward into you or stuff like that. And they could also brace into the fact that he's just a big walking submarine suit of sorts. So he could punch you, hit you. I can see it. I'm gonna put that in high plausibility, and he doesn't have to heal like this guy does. So I can see it. I can see Nautilus being there, and he's from Bilgewater. Nico. Okay, so Nico is plausible. I'm not gonna put Nico as most deaf. Nico would have to have some changes to her to make it work. Like if she changes, because she could change. Her whole thing is that she can change her look to being of anything on the champion thing, which would be cool. And then I guess she gets some of the powers, whatever. But they would have to tailor it down in Project L. She probably can like look like her, the person like, or like a clone of the person who's who's her assistant. She probably could look like you and stuff like that by hitting you, whatever, or look like your person and trick you up a little bit, your assist, and trick you up a little bit. But I can't think of her just like, oh, she's gonna be like the Leaf or something, or it would be weird to have her transform that much. I think she would have the more fantasy of like she transforms to look like other people, and almost like how I can't remember his name from Mortal Kombat. Lee? I can't remember his name, but how he can be any character with moves and stuff. She might be very interesting of how she would do that. And then, of course, still be able to use her moves and her abilities, like the whole jump and hit, which that's going to be fun. Yeah, I can really see her working. I don't know if I want to put it as most deaf, though. But Nico works, man. Especially with Sion, she was going to work with that Nidalee. She does work. Odd. I can see it. And they wouldn't really have to change her. They don't have to change her passive a little bit to what it was. Yeah, I'm going to put it there for now. Nidalee, on the other hand, she would need some retooling. Because I don't think unless she's going to leave the traps there. Her ult would be just a switch to, I guess, level 1 ults. Ooh. If you had to only use her level 1 special as a way of like switching, and she gets like a little bit of the passive for a bit, and then it will die down as she stays there. That would be interesting. That would be very interesting. How they organize that a little bit better. That's actually really interesting now that I think about Nidalee, because she's not going to be in League. Nidalee is from Ishtal, which she's weird because it's like she's like orphan, but also she gains like something from the pride that took her in, so she can transform. She's a shapeshifter, but she only really changes to like that lion form. Which, if they did put Nidalee in if they did put Nidalee in Project L. Oh, you okay? Marcus is being a little fussy. If they put Nidalee in Project L, I most definitely need to have the remake version of her, the one from League Legends of Runeterra version, because that looks amazing and that would look very cool in Project L. I would love that version. And if it was like her S1 just makes her like change her form, so you get new abilities and whatnot, and then you could use the S1 again if you want to use the form, and then her S2s will be kind of like locked to whatever she is. That would be kind of cool. It would have to make new stuff for her. I actually don't hate the idea. And then she has a spear in one form, so she can throw that spear, chuck it, do whatever, and somehow gain another spear. I don't know how that works. And then probably she can use the spear more as like a way to fight her. They would have to retool her a little bit. I'm going to put her back here. But she would, a little, like, there's a lot. She can open up a lot as a Nidalee. I actually, as I'm talking about, I really like the idea of having Nidalee in the game in Project L. I actually started liking it more and more. Nocturne, it's different because Nocturne, like, yes, he has a darkness, which I guess would be a weird thing because was he gonna black out the whole screen? And what, you only can see yourself? Or your eyes or something like that? I don't know. That'd be kind of weird for darkness. I say plausible, but like... And... Nocturne doesn't have any lore aside from he appeared on the Twisted Tree line. Like, he's suspected that he was a nightmare of some guy, but no one ever knows anything about him. Okay. Nunu's different, because Nunu and Willip, Nunu being the boy and Willip being the Yeti that he pals around with and pretty much carries him everywhere. I can see them working together. I can see, like, the snowballs... And then Willip just doing his attacks and everything like that. I can see that partnership working well. His ult would need some tooling because no one's going to allow you to just channel hit people. It's not going to... No one's going to allow you to do that charge. So they would have to find a different way of doing it. And I guess... Oh my god, his munch would be a special one. They probably will take it away from his P and just make it like he munches as a special one. And the more closer to death, the more it hurts a little bit or something like that. I can see that. I would say plausible. They would still, again, have to work with some stuff on his kit. Just how it is. I'm, like, working this out really quick here. But, yeah. So, I can see that on his kit. Like, 100... It's going to be fun. I really want to put Nidalee in most stuff because I really want to see her in there, but I can't. I can't make my favoritism of this newfound favoritism work. Olaf just screams fighter. Like, Olaf's whole thing is that he wants to die from a worthy opponent. So he's like, it just worked. Like, of course he won't have the lifesteal, he won't have this. But just having the lightning attacking, the the axes that he can just throw when, like, he can throw an axe, gain back the axe as he get closer, and might help him attack faster or whatever, or just deck you with the axe. I don't even know how that's gonna work, but I can see that working. And then, like, his ult would just be like that kind of install that's like, maybe he takes less damage and he's just charging at you, or maybe you just get a flashy, like, him just charging. Who knows? But I can see him. I can see it work almost like an axe version of, like, Wolverine, like his barrages and stuff. It works. It's like, I can see Olaf being in there, and not really a lot of things have to change. So most stuff. Orianna, I can't see. I can't see you throwing a ball everywhere. It did happen in... Ooh. What was that? Street Fighter... Is it 5? I think it was 4 was the first one you had. You have the girl with the orb with her. So it's possible. Or I was just so creepy, though. Because she does look creepy. I would love to see her in the thing. I would say plausible, but very unlikely that they're going to put Orianna in the game. Especially if they put Blitzcrank in it, because you're going to have one robot and that's about it. Ornn's a good one. I like Ornn. They would have to make him less of, like, he's going to build things in the middle of the thing, which I guess takes away his passive, and he's just going to be this, I'm coming for you guy. Yeah. It's plausible. I don't think they're going to do it, though. And his ult will be weird, because How hard is it to hit back on Ram when you're just only a straight line? Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But I highly doubt. I highly doubt they're going to put Ornn. Pantheon's interesting. Because Pantheon's ult doesn't make any sense. He's not going to just rush into people. That's his whole thing. His spear, throwing the spear, having the shield to it, the attacking somebody and stunning them, that's cool. I'm still going to say plausible, though. I just because the ult, I cannot see that working. And it's such an essential thing to his, like, lore. So, I don't know. I say Poppy. Oh, yeah, this is Poppy. The people are going to hate me on this. If any normal Yordle's going to be in the game, Poppy's going to be in there. Because Poppy, I can see just working because of her, like, she's a warrior. She uses the hammer. She has the buckler thing that so she has some kind of rage projectile. I don't know how that's going to work in the league thing because what's going to give her a shield by coming close to you? She has the hammer. The hammer's going to hurt. And I can see, like, yes, this is going to have the problem with the hitbox, but I see it like almost being like that same character from Grand Blue Fantasy, or Grand Blue Versus, the blonde haired girl that's like pretty much a short, like she's just a short girl. Let me see this here. Fantasy Versus. I'm just trying to find the blonde haired girl, so people can know what I'm talking about. Oh, Charlotte. Oh, how did I forget? Charlotta. It's something like that. Yeah, that little mini girl. Yeah, I can see if she's in that game and she's in a fight, and it's a fighting game. I can see Poppy being it. How small is? I'm now very interested in this side thing. I think she's really short too. Let me see. What is her height? She's around 90 centimeters. I don't know what that is. I'm born in a thing called America where we use feet and inches. She's 2 foot. Okay. Yeah. They would just have to hype up what a Yordle is and not make them as short as they are in canon. So I can see Poppy being there. As if there's one character, I can see Poppy. So most def, and I want Poppy in the game because that oh god, not the Redux, but the the rework of her. I have to say, I love that with a passion. Like they gave her so much facial expression, and they were using it as like tailor of what they should put on other characters. And I love Poppy. I would play her more often if I played jungle. Pyke? Oof. Okay, Pyke's an interesting character. Because Pyke has the execute ult, which works really fun. He would have the stab thing, and then he could push himself forward, stun you again. The whole, like, going into a river state and can't be hit or whatever. Oh, actually, no, he can still be hit. But, like, gaining back his health and gray health and all that stuff, that would be annoying. So I'm still going to put him as plausible just because gray health works so much with his thing. And I don't know how that's going to be translated. And we have enough grab people. There's better grab people if they wanted to put them in there. They don't need to put in Pyke. He's a better fighter, though. But they don't need to put in Pyke. They can put other characters in that can do more. And Pyke is kind of new. Still. Which is weird. He's not really. Pyke is probably like from 2017 or something like that. Or maybe 8. Oh my god. When did this come out? $2018, yeah, but he's still real because that's again like 5 years, yeah. So She's relatively new. The other ones can make a shine. Okay, Kiana is an interesting character. Because I would love to see her in the game. But her kit in League does not work in Project L because her whole thing is based off the elements she's around. And she's not going to have that in the game, which is supposed to just be this, oh, you have 2v2. The background's there, it makes it look pretty or whatever, but we're not interacting with the background, so where's she getting her powers from? Unless it's based off, like, where she's at a certain stage. So it's like, if she's up in the air, she's going to be using air, but if she's on the ground, she's using ground, or maybe, I don't know. It's weird, and I don't know if that would be something they could do unless they retool her to just having the powers. And that kind of is not her whole thing, because her whole thing is like she doesn't know how to use the elements like that. She needs them around her. She can't just make them to work them. She's almost manipulating, not actually utilizing. Oh, is that Quinn? Oh my god. I forgot Quinn was... So Quinn and Valor. Valor with me. I cannot fathom Quinn in the game, especially not with Valor. Like, unless she's going to throw that thing to attack you from far range, and then she has to get close to do her thing. I say most likely not. I'm saying, because again, Markswoman really has to keep that whole thing about her not really up close, and then her ult is just literally becoming Bird Woman. Which, I guess, unless she's going to swoop down and hit you or something like that, where she'll just be coming and then just attack you with the things. I don't know. Yeah, I'm still gonna put it as most likely not. There's a lot of other champions. I know. Okay, Rakan, and let me see if I can find Zyla. I'm gonna put, if I can find her, I'll just put them both into this. Oh, come on. Where are you, you evil, evil thing? Her silhouette. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Rakan and Zyla. Just put them together. Okay. I can see them working if they actually make them two champions at the same time. I get it. This is a game where you have an assist already, so having two champions in the same thing while also having an assist is a lot for that thing to render. That's why I say plausible. And then you'd have to retool it in a way. I say it's plausible, but at the same time, unless they want to have a whole Videl, it's Gohan, but it's Saitama. No, the Great Saiyan Man. Unless they want to have that little combination that we would have to do into a character, I don't see them. I don't, and I wouldn't want them to be separate, because I don't like, even in League, because they're separate, they're assigns, they work together, they kind of have a relationship, or it seems like that really, like they're meant, they fly together, they're born with one wing, so they're like destined to be partners. So I can see that, like they're together, but it's one of those things that I don't like them in League, just because of the fact that, like, if you don't have a person who's Rakan and you're playing Zyla, you're less of a champion, and vice versa, because they give you so much benefits for being together in a fight. So why don't you just put that in the game? If you put that in Project L, just make them one character so they can work off each other. Wow, their specials would just be their specials. Well, but again, plausible, but I'm not putting it as most def, because that, I don't know what they want to do. I don't know what Project L would want to gain from that in a way. It just seems like a lot. Oh yeah, Rammus. I want to put that in anti-tier. I really do. Like, and I say this, I don't hate Rammus. I just don't like that all he does is spin. He would spin, and then he might walk up to somebody and then do the whole chain thing and stuff. But he's just a spinner. He just spins. He hits things and then kind of has to like waddle his way towards you or stuff like that. And then his passive, like he can bounce with his ult or whatever with his spin. And then his ult is just jump. And do his thing. I don't know. Oh, also he can taunt. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a weird. It'd be like Sonic but slower because he can't even fight. You just have to keep spinning everywhere. And if you make his whole thing spinning, then he's gonna be broken because he's just like the whole time and charging that and coming in and spin again, spin down, and just like they would have to make him too much like Sonic. It would be annoying. That's why he's my anti-chat. I just don't even want him in there. I would say Rek'Sai would be a very plausible character. I don't know how they would work the tunnels thing, and I do not know how, if because you have to make her a land shark a lot, which is kind of broken because then she has no hitbox but her fin, which I guess you have to low hit it, but then you have a champion that literally has to be low hit a lot of times, and then on land she's kind of just like a lot. So I can't. I say plausible, but I don't even think it. I think it's most likely not gonna happen. I would love like her skills work. Her skills are fun, and she'll probably just like do a better version than Rammus would of the spinning and coming up towards you and attacking. But it's not plausible. You know what? Most likely not. Most likely not. Yeah. Let's be honest with ourselves. Also, Boydling. Sorry, there's a lot of times to just say their name and just kind of be like, okay, this is why not. Goodbye. But, oh, God. So we have Rel, which is the Noxian. Rel is actually kind of interesting because the whole thing is that she's a mage, and she didn't know when she was in school in the Noxian things that they were kind of just using her. Like, she had to kill off her own friends and kill off people and that, and not realizing that they're kind of using everyone she did off or she beat in battle. They just used their power and made her stronger. So but she's technically getting stronger by other people's death that she didn't know they were doing. I think, if I remember the lore correctly. And then she escaped, and now she's like, no. So, which, come to think of it, I just realized how she kind of looks like the girl. Maybe a little bit. Maybe it's just the art style. But she kind of reminded me of, like, the Caitlyn. Like, so in Arcane, Caitlyn has some Noxian upbringing because I guess her mom or somebody she's related to or aunt or something like that is Noxian and wants to take over Pit over it. And Rel looks kind of familiar to that. A little bit. Not too much. Didn't know she started working. Anyway. Rel, so the whole thing, because Rel has an iron horse that she kind of gallops in and gallops out. She can then change that form to be like to rush down, stun people, and then now she's like this battle queen of sort with like a spear or javelin technically that she can point at people and shove into them. And then she's kind of slower in that version instead of like. Now, I did say I don't like the whole four-legged things of the horse, because just seeing that spring up is weird. But seeing it on a iron, or steel technically, horse that probably could just hover upwards, I can see it. I can dig it. I'm going to put plausible. I'm going to put it a little bit higher than yeah. Rel is nice, and that rework they did to her made her very potent in League. I think she's like S plus still at the time of this recording. Renekton's a must. If they're going to put a creature, Renekton is a creature. he is a gator. He is almost like Sorbet from the legends of the Egyptians and stuff like that, mythos. He is Shuriman. He is Nasus's brother, and the one who went a little bit after the whole Zera thing, which is another character, which we will talk about. But like Renekton, and especially his moves, his ferocity, his aggronessity. That's not a word, but that's what he is. He is very aggressive, very aggro. He's hitting you with things. He's trying to stun you with them. Maybe Fury is not a element, but he doesn't really need it because he was just gonna dash into you, dash out of you, dash into you. Can pause that. He can just hit you with the things, keep coming at you. Then he can ult and make himself bigger, which then he's just like doing more damage to you and maybe this install damage. So I say most stuff. He's a very aggressive, and then if they want to have a creature, he's on the top of list of creatures. Warp is probably up there too. And this character who's Renekton, which for the longest time Renekton was just Runeterran and fights Kha'Zix. He just fights him. They have this feudal thing. Technically, Kha'Zix is the one that gave him this good eye right here. Good eye. Look at my good eye. You mean the one that's been cut out? It's good. It's technology based. So he'll be interesting, and his ult could work if they just make him just keep blinking in and out of his visibility, or just make him invisible for the time, which is interesting to play as and also interesting to play against. He has bolas, which would be, I guess, would not do the whole stun thing, maybe not, who knows. They probably could just root, because there is, I know there's not CCs as or crowd control as it's called, like how in MOBA, in the League of Legends MOBA, where you would have slows, stuns, roots, and all that stuff. But there seems like there is like ways of knockdowns or names of like interrupting people in a way that I guess doesn't have to have the name CC to it. But they're there. So I would think Rengar, does have the way to fear people, do that, the Roar's parts. I'm going to still say plausible. I'm going to say it next to Nidalee. Which, a little fun part about that is Renekton and Nidalee, for the longest time that I could see, was something that was like a coupling, but I don't think that's lore anymore. Because I think Nidalee and Nico are supposed to become an item source. I pretty much know Nico is admired and enamored, is the best way of saying that, by Nidalee. She likes Nidalee. Likes Nidalee. So I don't know if they're going to push that into the narrative or not. Who knows? Maybe Nidalee and Renekton never worked out because Renekton's so hell-bent on attacking Kha'Zix. Who knows? The hunt is a hunt, but you still need to live life, I guess. Riven's definitely going to be in the game. Riven, I say Riven's definitely... So Riven's a Noxian. I'm even going to put him up here. Riven's a Noxian. Girl has a blade that got shattered. Technically is still good. It's not like it's a broken blade. It's just her mental resistance to being full and not a broken person. So it's a representative of, like, her sword is representative of her, and then that's why the runes won't kick in until she wants it to kick in, or she believes she's ready for that power. And even then, it only lasts a little bit and then it goes away. So she has that install in her. But Riven is a special case because Riven is supposed to be based on a fighter. Her moveset is based off, like, what about if we had a fighter that would just happen to be in League? Riven. So her whole thing of, like, coming in, 3 hits. You got the jump, you got knocks ups, you got the stun. This quick action of, like, bam, 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 and no mana. That was because she's a fighter. So I would be very surprised if they don't put her into the game that she was supposed to be in this whole time. And like, she might not be able to stun. Like, I guess again, I think they're gonna like separate stun as more of like the interrupt kind of thing, like getting hit by a burst, but now it's in her kit, so I can see that. If her assist was just her bursting, oh, that's kind of broken. But yeah, no, I see her in there. We only have a little bit more time. So I can also see Rumble. Okay, Rumble is another one of those must have, just because, again, with the Yordles, there's very limit on what a Yordle is, or the Yordles that are going to be in the game. Because they're short, most of them are mages or stuff, they can't really do a lot of offensiveness. But Rumble is a Yordle that's straight up in a mech. And I'm very surprised that they don't put what predominantly is a lot of Yordles find themselves in mechs or mech kind of ways, because Yordles are like furry gnomes in the lore kind of thing, because they're normally either very good with technology or very good at being magical. And there's some martial martial Yordles like Poppy, which I find it hilarious. Poppy is one of those she has a hammer that she's trying to give to the true hero. She is the true hero. She can use the hammer. She just doesn't notice this or doesn't believe it. But anyway, aside from that, Rumble, I guess, would be in there. They would have to change what his mech looks like, because it looks like trash. It's really, he just put trash together. Maybe they might add that, but it's not going to be pleasing to the eye. But I would be very surprised if I don't know if they're going to add the overheater or but I'd be very surprised if they don't put him in there. So I'm going to put him as a most def. Yeah, they still retool him, but I can't really see him as being like anything else. And I'm going to end this episode here. So again, I thought it was going to be a trilogy. These are a lot of champions. I probably will not do something like this for a long time. But for now, hope everyone's watching. Hope you're all having a good time as I ramble and tell a little bit of of these characters. Not giving the whole picture of anything, because I'm not going to be here for the next 20 hours as I have not breathed. And my tongue is like on fire because I have no liquid. But anyway, dry. So, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'll keep on bringing episodes every day. Technically, these specials be 2 episodes for the days, which is going to be weird and hard to upload, but that's future me's problem. As we burst through on the Final Fantasy Takeover, I guess, by the time this comes out. Or getting close to that. As I say in other episodes, but Final Fantasy, because Baldur's Gate 3 is coming close on like August 3rd. I have a whole thing of just legit trying to finish up as much as I can of Final Fantasy before I move into now another more immersed like RPG kind of thing in that aspect. So going hard on that. I don't know if we're gonna have like just a me only version of like I'm playing by myself and then also a friends thing, or just vice versa, or together and everything, but who knows. Aside from that, again, thanks for watching. I hope these helped. I hope you like some version of this, but if anything, I can always do other tier lists, do other stuff, like not only just gaming specials and stuff like that. But with that and everything else, be a fan. Bye for now. Woot woot.